Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk. This is just going to be a quick part 2 on the S-4000 colour monitor here, and unfortunately I think it's not going to be any use to us. I've been playing about with this quite a few hours now, and actually I had a few comments on the previous video, and what they're commenting is kind of it's in the same lines as I'm thinking, and that's that this monitor was designed for 60 Hz. Now that doesn't just mean that it's only designed for a 60 Hz signal, you know, as an NTSC. This monitor was designed to work on a 60 Hz mains frequency. Now in the UK we run at 240 volts or 230 volts. Officially 230 volts, but really it's closer to 240 volts. But that's not really the issue. We can use things like the variac step-down transformers to deal with that. The problem is that our actual mains frequency is different. I believe the US and Japan run on a 60 Hz mains frequency, as where the UK and I think Australia and a few other countries run on a 50 Hz mains frequency. Now for a lot of things that isn't really a major issue. I mean, switch mode power supplies, stuff like that, they don't care. Even old radios and TVs and things with a transformer in it, the transformer might be a little unhappy on the wrong frequency, but generally speaking the item will work. The problem you get is where you have equipment that derives timings from the mains, and this has been done for a long time. Clocks, the mains driven clocks actually used to derive their timing from the mains. That's why if you buy a US clock and bring it over to the UK, you can use a step-down transformer to actually get the correct voltage, but the clock will actually run slow because it's expecting a 60 Hz mains frequency, and obviously in the UK it's only getting a 50 Hz mains frequency, and obviously that difference will make the clock run slow. Now what I think is going on here is something akin to that with the monitor. As in the monitor, I don't know whether it's the probably in the line output stage, is actually using the mains frequency for timing to keep it keep the timing correct. And obviously that mains frequency is wrong. It's 50 Hz, not 60 Hz. And I think that's the reason why we can't actually get a display on this screen. I have tried all sorts of different things. I've even tried connecting up as a VGA monitor and seeing if I could get an image that way. And believe it or not, when I actually connected it up to an old PC VGA, I could actually see the text on the screen, but it was shooting past like that. Basically it was scanning across very fast, as in it was running at the wrong frequency. But I could actually make out, you know, that there was a DOS prompt there and you know, little bits of text. Like I say, it wasn't readable or anything, but you could actually just about make it out. Then it got me thinking about that, the board where I was filling about and using that board to trace off where the RGB lines and everything were. I thought I'll have a play with that board, and I've actually got that board connected up now. And I was correct, that board actually takes a composite sync and it splits it into a H-sync and a V-sync. I've managed to find the wire that originally connected to that inside the S-4000, and unfortunately it was labelled up, so it was labelled up the cable actually RGB and sync, not H-sync and V-sync. So that board is designed to take a RGB and sync signal in, amplify it, and then send it out as RGB, H-sync and V-sync. So I thought, let's give that a try. So I've got that connected up to the Amiga now. I'll power the monitor back up, and you'll see basically we've got absolutely no difference at all. It does take a little while. I don't think this screen's completely shot, but I'm getting the impression that that monitor is a little bit tired. But basically, as you can see that there, even with it being fed from the Amiga through that video amplifier board, which is, I'm using the composite sync off the Amiga, through the video amplifier board to give us the heatsink and the V-sync and everything, it just will not, you cannot get a lock signal on it. When you just turn the Amiga off and back on, you'll see it's doing exactly like it did on the previous video. The shut off, obviously you can tell, the monitor is working, it's a fully functional monitor. Switch back on. You can see that the Amiga's booting up. In fact, I think we've got a guru meditation error or something to come up there. Just, oh, I can't reset the keyboard doesn't work on that. Let me just try switching it back off and back on again. Because this is a hard drive in that Amiga, so it will boot into Workbench, but we don't get anything that's displayable on screen. So the most I got was when I connected it up as a VGA monitor to this PC, and like I said, you could just about make out that there was text being displayed on the screen, but there was nothing readable. There was no way of stabilising it. I tried fiddling about with the horizontal control, things like that, the vertical hold, see if I could get it to come in, but so there was just no way at all of actually getting it to sync to a signal. So, unfortunately, I have to conclude that this monitor really isn't going to be of any use for this project. It's a crying shame, because it would have been lovely to be able to actually use that monitor actually in the S-4000 build that I'm doing. So I will have to have a look and see if I can find another monitor of this size that I can fit in there. Whether that's going to be CRT or LCD really depends on what I can find that will go in there and actually be of some use, because I mean, there's no point just putting monitors in there which are just there for decoration. I want all three monitors actually to be able to serve a purpose. In fact, what I'll do, I have done a little bit more work on the S-4000, so I'll take you over there as a little bit of an end, because this is only going to be a short video. I'll take you over there and I'll just show you a couple of the little bits that I've done and what I'm proposing to do with that as well. So back in a sec. Okay, hopefully this is going to be light enough and you can see alright, but if you look, I actually did take the plunge and cut the metalwork out and basically cut the screen out so it's full size now. That was quite tricky to do, because that metal is it's actually really thick metal this thing's made of. It's like 1.5mm, nearly 2mm thick steel. It took me quite a while with a cutting disc to do that, but I basically what I did is I put the front on and I marked on the metalwork with a marker, took the entire thing apart again, took all the screen out again, took it down into the workshop and used a thin metal cutting disc, cut the excess metal out. So that does now, there's a little bit down that side where it over sits that I can't really do anything about. I might have to just put a little bit of black tape down it or something just to disguise it, but apart from that, that now fits that aperture absolutely spot on. I'm really quite pleased with that part of it. Also, you can see I've put the green screen back in. I've even put its control back on there. What I might do is, seeing as we're not going to be using that screen, we're going to have a spare spot here basically underneath. I might put the output for that monitor just underneath there, so you've got the brightness control for the monitor and the monitor's input. It might be a bit, I don't know yet, I'll have to think about that. It'll look neat anyway, but then again I do need to find somewhere to mount a power switch for that monitor to be able to energise it. I have just stuck a screen that I had in there for now. It's not ideal, it's a little bit too small, and that particularly, it's an old TV. It's only, I think these must be 10-inch and that's a 9-inch. It would do if I can't find anything else, but I might even look, like I said, for another LCD that would fit in there, and we'll just keep that one as a retro green screen. But that's working out quite nicely. I had this come in the post the other day. I've got a box. Unfortunately, the match it's quite good actually. If you look, it's a very, very, very close match to the plastic. The plan for that is I'm going to mount that. I don't know whether I'm going to mount it like that or I'm going to mount it like that. But that will basically have the like the SCART socket for that monitor, the controls for that monitor, VGA output here. That monitor, so basically there'll be a VGA connector on the side of that there for the VGA on that monitor. There'll also be a switcher in there. I managed to pick up on eBay, dirt cheap, a Kramer VGA switcher. It's quite. I used to work in the AV industry, and we used to use these things all the time. They're really nice, bulletproof little pieces of kit. So what it means is I can have 2 VGA inputs onto that one monitor. Reason why I want to do that is I'm actually considering I'm going to build a computer into this, actually into this console here. It won't be anything powerful or anything, but what it will allow me to do is like things like my EEPROM programmer and things like that. I can literally just connect them to the bench, connect them up on here, and have a computer built in here to be able to actually use them. The screen will be there, and if I want to use that screen with an external input, it'll just be a case of flicking a switch on here, and the video switcher will switch between the two inputs. Just an idea I had for some extra expandability, and there is loads of room actually underneath these monitors, like a spare shelf under there, which is plenty big enough to actually for me to build a computer actually into this thing. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. This was just a quick little update, and just to say, you know, I've tried and tried and tried with that monitor, but I've come down to the conclusion that it was designed to work with a 60 Hz input frequency. What I'm considering is, with the power supply that they actually had in the bottom of this thing, even though, like I said, this was obviously used in the UK, there was probably something in there. There was probably actually creating the 60 Hz for pieces of equipment that was in this that actually needed that timing. There was probably actually something in the power supply doing that. There is ways of taking a 50 Hz mains frequency and basically modifying it and coming out with the 60 Hz frequency. I've seen it done for clocks and things like that before, and all I'm guessing is they've done something like that to allow these monitors to work, because obviously, I mean, that monitor has screen burn on it. That monitor definitely was working in this system at some point, but it must have been being fed with a 60 Hz input voltage, AC input voltage, not 50 Hz. That's all I can come up with. It's a real shame I can't find any data on that monitor. I have tried and tried. I've even got a translator on my phone and tried to translate the Japanese script on there, and it doesn't bring me anything meaningful out, anything that I can, you know, track down an original service manual or the technical specifications or anything for that monitor. So unfortunately, like I said, at the moment I really can't do anything with it. I'm not going to bin it. It's too good. Even though the CRT, like I said, it's not in its first flush of youth, but it still looks fairly decent. And good CRTs are getting, you know, they are going to landfill. They're getting used up. So I wouldn't just bin it. It will go in a cardboard box. It'll go into storage, and at some point it will be found a use, even if it's just used for parts, used for its line output transformer, used for its CRT and scan coils and things like that. Like I say, it won't go to waste. We may find a UK version at some point and be able to use parts off it. We don't know. But anyway, for the moment, I'm going to be looking for something else to go in that hole there. Like I said, if I can't, then that would do for the time being. The only problem with that monitor, like I said, is it's only got a composite input. I'd have to really modify it if I wanted to get an RGB input on there. But that's just because, like I say, it's a really cheap little 9-inch colour TV that I got for £1 or something from a car boot sale many years ago. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little update on the project. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.